Hi everyone. For today's book review, we're going to go into the depths of the ocean and review Raise the Titanic, Volume 1 and Raise the Titanic, Volume 2. These two volumes detail, and I do mean detail, the making of the 1980 movie Raise the Titanic, which is a film adaptation of Clive Cussler's novel, also by the same name. These books, written by Jonathan Smith, have been years in the making, and for those who are part of the Facebook group, would have followed his progress. They're quite heavy, even though they're softcover. When we say detail, we do mean detail. Not a metaphorical rivet has been spared analysis. The books cover pretty much every aspect of production, and he goes beyond this. In Volume 1, we look at the story about Titanic and its role in cinema and previous film versions, and in particular the film versions that used a variety of models. We also have a look at the construction of the gigantic model itself and how the movie came about. In the second volume, we have a look at production, at the construction of the tank in Malta, the filming of the iconic raising sequence, storyboards, the premiere, the art, and of course, the beautiful sounds of John Barry's score. It turns out that the roar of the ship as it rises from the water is also the same roar that was used as the semi-trailer in Steven Spielberg's breakout TV movie Jewel was used as that truck rolled down the cliff. There you go. Volume 2 also concludes with a look at the fate of the gigantic model and the hope that it will finally be able to be restored and put on proper display. Interestingly, through Jonathan's extensive research, apparently the white ceramic model that was used for simulating the Titanic's glide towards the bottom of the ocean floor is somewhere in storage in Australia. Who would have thought? Both books follow the same format. There is a text-heavy chapter followed by a substantial chunk of illustrations. All photos in this edition are in black and white. The only color images are on the front and the back. All images are reproduced as good as can be. What I particularly enjoy about this book is that it goes beyond the production of the movie and looks at very much every other aspect. For example, much of the filming was done in Malta, and we see the construction of the tank, but we also see about the history of the tank and other movies that were filmed using that tank. My personal favorite was the detail regarding the Athene, which was a cruise ship slash ferry slash former ocean liner that was used for some of the sets on board the movie. Instead of just simply detailing how this ship was modified for the movie, we get a complete breakdown of this ship's career from being a Grace Line's American ocean liner through to its brief run with the Typaldos lines to being laid up and eventually its use as a film set and eventual scrapping. There is a list of 23 ships that were considered ideal for use of filming on board, and it's quite revealing because we get everything from the France, Leonardo da Vinci, all these beautiful laid up ocean liners, through to humble little immigrant ships such as the Patris or the little cruise ship Victoria, which actually survived for many decades. And of course, they also considered filming on the Queen Mary, but that didn't work out. For fans of the movie, for fans of Titanic literature, for fans who want to understand how movies used to be made back in the days of practical effects and model work, these 2 volumes are an absolute gold mine. It is a beautiful contribution to Titanic literature, looking at not just the creation of the movie itself, but how it fits with the history of Titanic in cinema, and indeed how Titanic is represented in model form. I'm a huge fan of these 2 books, and I have nothing but the utmost respect for Jonathan Smith for the mammoth, indeed the titanic amount of research that he has done to compile these 2 volumes together. For me, this is an absolute unequivocal 5 captain's hats. A immensely detailed, wonderfully illustrated look at not only at the history of this fascinating movie, but also a wonderful look at movie production and the role of Titanic in cinema. And for those who are interested in Titanic models, may I recommend this one, RMS Titanic, a model maker's manual, as well as for those who want to get inspiration from kits, we've got Titanic and Her Sisters, which is part of the Shipcraft series. We'll review those at a later date. But again, if you like the movie and or the novel, and if you're fascinated in Titanic's role in cinema, as well as how miniatures used to be filmed, indeed, where they were a staple part of movie making up until the 90s, then do check out these books. They are a goldmine of absolutely fascinating information, beautifully illustrated and extensively detailed. Do hunt it down. And until the next time, enjoy and happy reading, everyone.